And three, two, one. Welcome back again. This is Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining today. We're going to do, last but not least, certainly not least, the Cancerians of the Zodiac. Cancer, you're up. Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to go ahead and do a few things for our order of the day. First off, here's our call to action. If you like what you see here on this channel, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe. Ding that notification bell so that you don't miss any updates from future postings. And it also lets me know that, the videos that I put out here, are being received well. And that way you can kind of help push it up in the algorithm. So I've seen a lot of that happening over the last week or so, and I sincerely thank you for all of the love and support. Additionally, if you like a personal reading with me, one that is in tune with your specific energies, feel free to fill out the Google Doc in the description box and the profile, below. So basically what it allows you to do, select the options that you want, and then additionally fill out your information, and then you can go over to PayPal and pay for those readings. They're really, really cheap. I'm leaving them there as kind of introductory rates for now. You can get like one question for 15 quid. You can get another question for like 25 or so. So you can get loads of questions. I don't really put too much of a time cap on it, but if you're interested in one of those, I'm more than happy to give that to you. So what we'll talk about now, firstly, I'm going to be using the official Rider-Waite, Trusty Dusty, as I like to call it, for the main part of the spread. We'll then go over to the Nightmare Before Christmas cards, so that way we can clarify, and then we'll top it all off with a card from the Moonology Oracle deck, and that's going to give us kind of our advice towards the end of the reading. We also need to talk a little bit about the astrological transits that are taking place today. So we currently have Venus in Virgo, opposition Saturn in Pisces. With Virgo energy, I'm a Virgo moon, by the way. Venus in Virgo is a detriment. So Venus, when it is in the sign of Virgo, or in the house of Virgo, like the sixth house, it tends to have a detrimental effect on that. It makes you more picky, more conservative, sometimes a lot more hard on yourself when it comes to matters of the heart. And it can make you, think a bit too much about perfectionism when it comes to the way that you approach love or the qualities that you want in love. Whereas the exaltation is Venus in Pisces, which is more about universal love, love between all things, and so on. So that opposite Saturn in Pisces is almost like you're not really sure what you think or believe about in the arena of love. And furthermore, when it comes to you, it's like you'll have slightly lower feelings of confidence, self-worth. Your money situation may not be as on point as it normally is. And furthermore, for you, it could cause you to feel like you're not really deserving of love, is what I'm thinking about, because Venus and Virgo tends to do self-sacrifice. Pisces also self-sacrifice. But in essence, Pisces just kind of does it just because it wants to. Virgo, for example, Venus in Virgo can cause it to make you feel like, I don't deserve this love. Let me just go on and do my own thing and be in hermit mode. So we also have Mercury retrograde in Leo. That is slowly moving into the house of Virgo as well. And this is also opposite Moon in Pisces. So we have Saturn and Moon in Pisces. That can also make us feel a bit down, depressed about certain things with Saturn and Moon both in the same sign. With Mercury in retrograde, typically it makes things a bit chaotic when it comes to electronics. So back up your files, make sure that you have clear communication when it comes to dealing with the outside world, with people. And because this is in opposition, make sure that you get all of the facts and that you no longer remain subjective about things. Because when you have Moon opposite Mercury, it can make people so wrapped up in their emotions that they don't see things for what they are. And that's a really kind of detrimental place for anyone to have to deal with in their transits. So finally, we had on August 19th, we had the full moon in Pisces. This was a supermoon, which was a massive kind of portal shift for many people, and it allowed for things to manifest. Additionally, it allowed for people to tap into their intuition to get and receive the guidance that they needed in order to move forward. So it was kind of like a portal transit. And now that supermoon's passed, I hope everyone got some good pictures of it first off. And now that energy is still lingering a little bit, even though it's towards the end of the week. And we're going to go ahead and start taking action on those things that we received intuitive advice about. So those are the inner planets. Those are the ones that are most closely associated with things like stelliums, where you have three or more of those, and it tends to work as a more powerful stellium than stelliums with more generational outer planets like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, which is what I'll get to now. Uranus is in Taurus, so if you're a Taurus like me, you're going to struggle quite a bit with that. What it can do is it can make you feel like everything that you have built in stability and in your routine for the day, now it's being thrown under the bus, and the universe is forcing you to find a new pathway, a new way of making money, new relationships, and everything associated with Venusian energy, with Taurus, which is more like your physical energy. You may even go on a diet, or you may need to get your health under control as well, because Uranus will bring all of that to the surface, and then you're being forced to deal with it. Uranus to me is the death card, and then Pisces is what happens after death, in the afterlife, in my opinion. Pluto is often associated with death and rebirth, but Uranus is the moment where you cark it. And that's basically the epiphanic moment where the old is overthrown and the new comes in. That's why Uranus is always associated with revolutionaries and revolutions in general. Speaking of that, we have Neptune and Pisces. We talk a little bit about people that are struggling with getting a grip on reality. So you can see a lot of issues with drug use around the world. I didn't really think of that before, but now it's popping into my head. With Neptune and Pisces, you can see massive issues with designer drugs. We've also known about the fentanyl crisis that struck lots of parts of the Western world, and also with a lack of clear thinking and perception. So it's important, again, to be on point when it comes to being clear in your communication, your thought processes, and seeing things as they are rather than the way that you want them to in their highly refined and idealized state. Finally, we have Pluto in Aquarius, which is a very interesting transit, because what this does is it looks at the established order and it says, you know what, fuck you, you're out. And it basically throws everything into a top spin. So, for example, we'll see governments losing it, as we're seeing things happening in the US and the UK. Not going to get into many details on that right now because this is a tarot channel. This is not necessarily a politics channel. Although I may read at the weekend an election read, which will be just for fun, just to see what happens. And we'll go from there. But Pluto in Aquarius restructures, it brings death and rebirth to the societal and the socio-economic structures that humanity has built. We now see, the Fed's speech today, which is going to be hugely important because of the 818,000 jobs that they just cooked up in the books. And now they're going to have to answer for that. They're going to get grilled in the different committees that they're taking part in. And expect for, the doo-doo to hit the fan and spread all over the United States and their closely associated and affiliated countries if things do go in the direction that we fear they'll go. That said, let's go ahead and get into the reading. We're going to go ahead for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, from now until mid-September 2024. Cancer, now until September 2024. Stop here. Okay. Cancer's current self. Oof. Oof. Okay. Challenge. Challenge. Okay. Recent past. Near future. Good God, this is not going to go well. I'm so sorry, Cancer. This reading is turning to shit, but I'm going to explain this as best as I can. I'm going to go for the core. What's at the core? All right. What the crown? What's already known? What's the possible outcome? Okay, that's good. Clarify that. Oh, God. All right. What's the signifier? What is this all about? What is this all about? Please tell us. Okay. Temperance. Bottom of the deck, you have the King of Cups, and this is a person who is emotionally mature, responsible, and who is able to deal with life's ups and downs, as you see in the back, with all the massive waves and the ships trying to pass through. The King of Cups sits on his throne, and he basically looks around and says, you know what, this is fine. But instead it's water rather than a burning building and a cup of coffee. So that said, speaking of which, I probably need a brew very soon. We have, for the initial energy here, we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse and Death in the reverse. This is a person who is being kicked, dragging and screaming into their transformation. Why the Queen of Swords and Death? I'll clarify that with this one actually. Why the Queen of Swords and Death reversed? I swear, Cancer, every time I shuffle your cards, I get this really nasty fighting energy, like, no. Okay, there we go. Here. Right. Let's clarify this. Looking at Queen of Swords in the reverse, Death in the reverse. What is this? Tell us a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more. Why is this Cancer's energy? Okay. So we have a repeat card. And so you are feeling really nervous about moving on from something that you don't want to end. We have the Six of Swords, and then we have the Eight of Swords, both in the upright. You have the Eight of Swords as your outcome, clarifying the Four of Wands. So doing the maths here, which I'm getting better at maths thanks to this YouTube channel, 6 and 8 is going to be 14, and unfortunately, that 1 plus 4 is 5, so that's 5 of Swords. It's almost like you're trying to fight at all costs in order to preserve something that should die off and become extinct. And right now, the challenge of it is you being financially independent. It could also insinuate being emotionally independent as well, but we don't have the Nine of Cups here yet. But your singlehood is the main challenge to this entire reading. And this has strong inclinations about someone moving away from a relationship or a business. I'm going to clarify, is this about a business upright or is this about a relationship reverse? Business upright, relationship reverse. This is about a business upright, relationship reverse. Okay, so this is about, it could be about a business venture. Again, for reversed bottom. You're not willing to take a risk or a chance to get out of something. You're fighting, kicking, and screaming to hold on to this despite needing to move on, Six of Swords, and to overcome the intellectual or the mental anxiety associated with that. There is a strong feeling of codependency in this. It could be job. I'm getting here, though, it's relationship related as well. So just take it as it resonates. We're going to have both of these kind of interwoven into the same story. So in the recent past, you had the Ace of Cups. And what this talks about, this was in the reverse. So it was the disconnect of something. Clarify the Ace of Cups. Okay, so you have the Five of Wands reverse. You have the Nine of Pentacles, again, this time in the reverse. So it's similar to the challenge of the Nine of Pentacles. That's the universe's way, which I have said throughout all the readings this week, where I've had nothing but repeat cards. It's saying, I said what I said, and this is confirmation. You had the Ace of Cups in the reverse, and this is you feeling emotionally detached, disconnected, and very upset about something. The reason why this is taking place is the Five of Wands in the reverse and the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. You are feeling kind of emotionally, materially codependent on something. It could be a job, for example. What happened with this job? And once again, I get the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups, both in the reverse. So you have the Six of Pentacles, and then you have the Page of Cups in the reverse. If I look at this intuitively, what I would say is that you're not really happy with the way that your job is treating you. We'll read it in that context. For you, you feel like you've put a lot more into this position. This is almost kind of like the energy of someone who knows they're about to be terminated or fired from their position or laid off or something like that. If it's a love relationship thing, you have recently broken up or you're about to break up, you see the writing on the wall. That's the expression that's coming into my mind. And now you're just like, no, this does not need to end. Now, Cancerians, here's the stereotype behind the Cancerian. Rather than dealing with things, Cancers tend to collect things and they refuse to let go of the past. That is what astrology.com, astro.com, all the websites say. Now, if that's the case, that would be the reason why this has taken place in your reading. If you are emanating negative energy related to the letting go of something so that it can pass on and that you can embrace the new, then in this case, I'll get to this later on and explain it in more detail. I see you being kind of forced to do it and passing through that portal and being scared shitless because you have to do it. However, I think you'll succeed, but we'll clarify this a bit later on. So with this energy here, Nine of Pentacles in the reverse twice, and then Five of Wands in the reverse. It's like you In order to end a very difficult, conflicting situation where you were getting kind of, you know, tossed around by your company or treated poorly by your company, and additionally, you know, now feeling like you need the paycheck in order to make things work, and now no longer having that, then in the near future, I see you going into the devil energy. And clarify that, please. Seven of Wands. Well, Leo just had that. And the Three of Cups. You have the devil, you have the Three of Cups in the reverse, and the Seven of Wands. Don't let this situation turn you into a monster. There's the old saying, Ten of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, to clarify. He who fights monsters must make sure that they do not become one. And when you look into the abyss stares into you. That's one of my favorite quotes by Friedrich Nietzsche. He talks a lot about when we are dealing with something reprehensible in the external world, it can change your inner world into that same thing to reflect what the outer world is doing to you. We sometimes want to get back at someone, get revenge, make sure that justice is delivered, even if you have to take it into your own hands. But in doing so you're trying to fight for something, but you have the Three of Cups in the reverse. It's not a very successful fight. Furthermore, you have people working against you. So this Capricorn energy here, this devil energy, could be you, a person, or another person who is pushing back against you and working behind your back surreptitiously. So the more you stay in this energy, what the problem is with this, and I can't really show this on YouTube too much because they don't like, dingle balls, drawn onto a piece of paper, and that suddenly becomes offensive, or boobies, whatnot. So I'll just keep it here. With the devil, normally the devil is showing you where things are becoming short. For example, it's standing on the black box of Saturn, and within that box are all the fears, limitations, toxic behaviors, traits, and everything manifested in the 3D. With the Adam and Eve figure here, these are the same Adam and Eve figures that are, throughout the tarot. So, for example, you may see in the Two of Cups, that's kind of like a similar figure. You may see in Temperance, well, not Temperance, sorry, it's the Lovers. They're also standing before the same kind of figure with wings outstretched. So it's the Archangel Raphael, if I'm not mistaken. And that, angel is standing above two people who are making the conscious choice, guided by the divine hand. In this, it's the material carnal world. The more you step into this energy of, I don't want this to end and I don't want this to die, you'll move from death to the devil. Death is card number 13, the devil is card number 15. In between the two of those is Temperance. You need to find a healthy balance between learning how to let things go and let nature take its course, and finding what you should attach yourself to, because the devil also it represents attachments. And without that temperance, you're not going to be able to find that. So you have, again, 13, 14, 15. The problem with this is that if you don't, and I do mention this, I did say this earlier on in the reading, is that you will have a tower moment. That's card 16. And with card 16, you don't want a tower moment, because what it'll do, it'll kick you out, kicking and screaming. And I said that at the beginning of this reading. If you don't get this under control, you'll be dragged. Well, you are being dragged, kicking and screaming away from something that you don't want to end. That is a problem. Now, as we clarify these cards and everything, if the tower comes out, then that will definitely let us know that we're on the right path with this. At the very core of all of this, we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. It means, as Minopon always says, the juice is not worth the squeeze. And essentially, you're reflecting in this Seven of Pentacles upright about what something means to you, what you have invested your time, energy, and effort into. And now, clarify. Clarify Seven of Pentacles. Clarify Seven of Pentacles. All right. God. So there's a lot of water in this card, in this reading. A lot of air in this as well. You have the Five of Cups and you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, the Six of Swords, Eight of Swords, Five of Swords, Five of Cups in reverse, Queen of Cups in the reverse. This is a person who is deeply hurt, angry and bitter about something they need to give up now. And Cancer, ask yourself, is it really worth it? Because I did at the bottom of this deck, okay. At the bottom of this deck previously, I had the Ten of Wands, which is it's going to become so much of a burden that you will have no choice but to let it go. It's important now that you kind of take the necessary steps to start extricating yourself from this job or this relationship in which you feel that it is slowly dying and that you are literally trying to kick a dead horse. No pun intended. What are these two energies? It's like you're fighting for a lost cause. It's almost feeling that way. It's changing you. The more you try to hold on to this, it's changing you kind of into, you ever seen like the movie Fatal Attraction, where you have, Glenn Close's character and then Michael Douglas's character. He's like, yeah, I hit that. That was some good stuff. Now get out of my office. And like, she takes that to heart so much that she then becomes obsessive. She stalks him. She leaves him nasty messages on the phone. She cooks him dinner in the worst way possible. It changed her. It was already there was an obsessive quality within her, but then that changed into something even worse. She became the monster that she was accusing him of. He just clapped the cheeks and then after that left off. He's a businessman. But with this situation here, it's like the person who is screaming the most about injustice normally becomes the biggest monster in this case. And we don't want you turning into that devil energy because, number one, who wants to be a devil unless it's really so much fun that you just can't resist? Or who wants to get into that energy where they feel chained to something that they could easily break free of? And the devil energy, you can easily get out of that because both the Adam and Eve character in here, the male and female of the divine, they have these chains loosely around the neck. And for them, they can easily escape that if they take the chains off. But because they've stayed so long, one of them, Eve, or Adam, he's growing a tail with fire on the end of it. And then Eve is becoming more with a tail with grapes on it. So it's about material fecundity and things like that. I don't want to use the word hoe, but it's popping in my head. But I mean, let's think about it. We go into the next part, which is the world, which is what's known. The world signals that you need to level up because things are closing out and you need to start a new cycle. So once again, we get confirmation that a new cycle needs to begin, but clarify the world, clarify the world, clarify the world. God. Wow. Okay, so this is definitely I'm getting relationship vibes from this more so for a larger portion of you. This is relationship related. For some of you, it could be business. It could just be the business matters related to this relationship, which seems to be a high level commitment. We just talked about the lovers and the devil, and guess what we have? We have the lovers. And then we also have the Hierophant. In both of these cards, we have a figure in the traditional Rider-Waite looking down on two people below who are creating some kind of action. They're making a choice, a decision. With the Hierophant, we have the Pope figure looking down on two of its initiates to learn the mysteries of the universe. This one doesn't really communicate that nearly as much. I mean, we do have the mayor, the mayor of Halloween Town here. He's a good lad. And then we have in this one, the choice, the decision. It's under the moon. Normally it's under Archangel Raphael. But it leaves me paused to kind of think about whether or not you need a third party to kind of mediate the situation, to shed some kind of clear light on what needs to be done. Furthermore, you need a person who is in a position of authority. Archangel Raphael is quite an authority. And additionally, the Hierophant, they're quite an authority. Both deal with spiritual matters. So I would even say perhaps it's good that you tune into someone who has some kind of spiritual understanding of the situation that you're in to bring you out of your emotional, the moon being here right now, guiding kind of your actions, the fears, insecurities, doubts, and so on. Rather, you should tap into your intuition to guide you through this situation rather than into your emotions, which is also ruled by the moon and, of course, by Cancer. Now, with all of this, this means seeking counselors. It can mean seeking a therapist. It could be a lawyer if you're in any kind of legal disputes. A good trusted friend or family member that can guide you. Because the Hierophant is a teacher. It's a person who teaches the mysteries of the universe using the keys, the cross keys, which is always about opening the doors to the universal mysteries within us and without. You may need to kind of tap into that using your Cancerian energy to kind of make this transition a little bit easier for you. Because if not, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you become that devil. It's going to be three people, but this is the devil mediating in this situation. Archangel Raphael mediating in this situation, and the Pope mediating in this situation. So we have three cards. As above, the Lovers, so below, the devil, with the Hierophant being the bridge between heaven and earth. You have mind, body, spirit, as above, so below, in between now with the Hierophant. So these two cards coming out here are two major arcanas. And additionally, after shuffling these cards, this is card number 5 and 6, which means there needs to be progress using mediation with these two, with these individuals. You need to tap the resources of all the people who can help you to overcome this difficulty. The Hierophant representing legal or large institutions, the Lovers being divine guidance, the devil also being the lower guidance and, kind of like the lesser guidance, if you want to say it. It's okay and important to let you know how you feel about the situation, what keeps you there. It's important for you to understand what keeps you stuck. The devil is not a bad card. The devil is just simply a card that says, here, I'm sat on the black box of Saturn that's keeping you stuck. What do you need to learn about yourself that is going to help you become unstuck? That's what the devil's energy is all about. Because 1 plus 5 in the number 15 is 6. 666. They say it's the number of the beast. What it really is, it's about harmonizing the shadow self with the individual. It's what Carl Jung refers to, the individuation of the self. Your higher self with your shadow self, putting the two together and understanding your more authentic personality traits and your capabilities. Oh, okay, that's a lot to go through. But what we also have, we have the 4 of Wands, and then we have the 8 of Swords. For the potential outcome of all of this, which represents that you do have the ability to move forward into the next stage of your life. Now, this can be the marriage card typically, or it's the celebration or the milestone card. But in this, you're feeling terrified about it, terrified about making forward progress, because the Three of Wands is about making it. So, okay, let's go back even further. The Ace of Wands is the opportunity. The Two of Wands is the decision that you'll make when more opportunities come through. The Three is about waiting for that opportunity to come in, and the Four is celebrating it when it does. Now that your chance to make a break for it is finally here, don't let it terrify you to the point where you hold yourself inwards and fail to make the necessary progress that would allow you to be your more authentic self. Whew, okay, good God. Let's pull an advice card, and then I've got to sit down. If you've got Libra in your chart, if you're a Cancer ascendant or a Cancer sun, with the Libra somewhere in your chart, look at the Libra card and look at the Leo card, because the Leo card had something similar as well. Advice for Cancer. Right, stop here. Advice for Cancer. Please tell me advice for Cancer, Spirit. Divine One, please tell me advice for Cancer. Okay. I pulled this card a couple of days ago, and I was doing this for a personal message of mine. But it's coming back out because the Hierophant showed up. The Hierophant rules Taurus, and it's a Venusian energy. And here we have Taurus here as well. Prosperity lies ahead. This is the new moon in Taurus. After the period of Aries, which is about individuation of the self, we then go into prosperity lies ahead, which talks about now making the material circumstances of your life be more prosperous, taking those initial steps to materialize the very things that will give you a solid foundation in the material world for what it is that you want in the next phase of your life. It's going to be important for you now to take those risks. The Taurus, once it gets going, it will then plod on slowly but surely to get to its end destination. This is a card definitely that represents the Knight of Pentacles. And I remember that Leo had the Knight of Pentacles in their outcome. And maybe for you, if you have Leo in your chart, you'll probably embody some of these qualities and traits as well. In order for you to make that progress, don't see it as something you have to take in all in one go. Like the process of eating the elephant is basically a process where you take everything one section, one stage at a time in order to overcome a difficult situation. It's one of my favorite expressions because it does give you kind of a big understanding of what to do first in something that seems so insurmountable initially. So with this prosperity lies ahead, you're moving away from the intellectual and you're moving away from wands, you're moving away from swords. You're now getting right into terra firma with materializing the very things that are necessary to help you to make that progress towards the right stage, passing through this death stage, and additionally, not feeling bitter about the ending, but feeling grateful for the new phase, passing through the world and going into the next world. It was a lot to put in. I got through it, thankfully. Thanks so much again. This has been Aluminum Tarot. If you like what you see here on this channel, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell so that you don't miss any updates from future postings. And additionally, if you would like a personal reading with me, one that is in tune with your specific energies, feel free to reach out to me at the Google Doc form provided in the profile and the description box below. I'm going to go rest up now. This has been quite a heavy reading. Thanks so much again for your kindness, compassion, and your support for this channel. I've seen meteoric growth over the last week, and I'm sincerely thankful for that. Maybe the Google deities are finally shining heavily upon me, and upon you as well, because now more people can get the message, and that's really what it boils down to in the end. Thanks so much again. Till next time, love and light.